Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to our art class. I'm happy to be here with you. And before we begin our lesson, I just wanted to say that under the attachments for this week's lesson, I have posted a time-lapse video of how I made this painting. It's super fast. It shows you all the steps of how I did it, and it's related to our lesson for this week. So if you want to stop this video and watch that one first, it takes less than 2 minutes, and then come back to this one, you can do that. Or if you want to wait until after our lesson is done and then go back to that attachment and watch that time-lapse video, you can do that as well, okay? I just wanted to make you aware that it's there and that I'd love for you to watch it so you can see that everyone can do this. Thanks. Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to week 11 of our art class. And here we are at the beach. No, we're not really at the beach, but I have this painting here that I wanted to show you as an example or an inspiration, or to show you that even as old as I am, all of the artist tools that we use in our classroom, they have prepared me for making paintings like this one. So, are we really at the beach? No. But it feels like I'm at the beach, and it's my absolute favorite place to be on earth is at the beach. So I'm using this painting as an example to show you, because the purpose of the lesson is both to create space and use color, okay? And this has both. So in order to create a space, we're trying to create that illusion, again, right, of creating a three-dimensional space. The space that we are in right now in our homes is a 3D space. It's like a box or a cube, or like this container of crayons, right? So it's a box. And outdoors, we're not in a box, but it still is a 3D space. Why? Because it has depth, right? It has indefinite height and it has indefinite width, but it does have all of those three components. So right here, we see that we have three different parts of our composition or our page, and they are as follows. You say, foreground. Very good, boys and girls, foreground. That is the closest part to us, so that we can feel like we are jumping into this painting, going on the sand, running into the water, right, where the waves are. This is called the foreground. This right here is called the middle ground. You say middle ground. Very good, boys and girls. Middle ground. Why? Because it is around the middle of our page, or in this case, the canvas. So in the middle. And then all the way here on top is the background. You say background. Very good, boys and girls, background. So let's review again. Ready? You say with me. Foreground, middle ground, and background. Okay, one more time. Foreground, middle ground, background. Excellent. Okay, so now that we have those three areas, we can start to use color to create this illusion of making it a 3D space. Because it's not, right? It really is whoosh. You do whoosh. Good. Flat. This is only a two-dimensional surface. You can measure the length and the width, and that's it. It's flat. But I tried to create that illusion, or tricking the viewer's eye into thinking, wow, this goes really, really far back. The water is all the way here at the horizon line. You say horizon line. Very good. And that is simply a line It's not a real line, but it looks like a line. And it is where the sun rises or sets. That's the horizon, right? So this horizon line, it looks like we can go far, far, far back. Maybe the boats are over here, and here is the sun. It's rising or setting, and then even further away in the background are all of these clouds, okay? So we are going to create those sections of our page or the composition. Then that will help us to be able to create that space, that illusion that there's distance, that there's depth of field. You say, depth. Very good. Okay, and if you notice, not talking about space now, these colors in the sky, they complement one another, right? So do you remember the complement of purple is yellow, right? And those were the colors that I chose to stick with. Yes, there's some orange. Yes, there's some blue. But since my clouds were mainly purple, I made the reflection of the sun yellow. Okay? And I like blending, so I mixed them with a little bit of orange, but we're gonna get to work. I wanna start to show you how you can create this look even just using crayons like I did. So right here, this is my painting, and I wanted you to see that all of the artist tools that we learn about in our lessons prepare you for creating paintings, okay? And if you don't have paints right now, you'll get some paints one day when we're back in the classroom, okay, in the building. But for right now, you can use whatever materials you have in your home. The artist tools that I keep referring to are the elements of art, and those are color, line, shape, texture, all of those things that we try to put into our artwork to create this very realistic or abstract look. So I'll leave that little piece there. Okay, so here I have a very simple drawing, and it is the beach. I used crayon, and I wanted to show you that not only complementary colors, but color value helps to create that illusion of a 3D space. So there's something called atmospheric perspective. And what does that mean? Those are just big words that mean that when you go far, far back here on the horizon line, it's going to look very, very dark value of blue. Why? Because our eye cannot see that far in the distance, and so it just looks very, very dark. A whole big mass of blue water. As we get closer to the foreground, the value becomes increasingly lighter. That is because now there is not a lot of water, and it is washing up on the sand, and so there's only a very shallow amount of water, right? That we can walk in, get our feet wet. And then as we go deeper into the ocean, and the water rises and gets higher up on our body, then it gets darker blue, because then it's a lot of water surrounding us, right? So I hope that that makes sense, the atmospheric perspective, as well as the complementary colors. And I'm going to show you how I did it. It was really, really simple. And you can do the same in oil pastels, color pencils, blend very well. The crayon, you have to press a little bit hard because you are layering, which means that you are adding one layer of color on top of another layer of color, like a layer cake, right? When you have many, many different tiers of cakes. So I need you to start with a blank piece of paper if you have one, and pick, if you have a light color of blue, I would use that. If you only have the box that has one value of blue, this is regular blue. Actually, I'll do regular blue, because I know everybody has that probably. So all I'm going to do is, in my crayon, I don't have to use pencil today. I'm gonna go right to crayon. Somewhere around the middle of my paper, I'm going to make my horizon line. And I don't have to press hard. And let's also remember that mindset matters. So let's get into a good positive headspace, okay? And be positive. And we can do this. So I'm going to take my crayon. I'm going to make a horizontal. Horizontal. That's where it came from, boys and girls. The horizon. Horizon line. Horizontal, right? Same root word. So we are making a horizontal line for our horizon. And it is, again, in the middle ground of our page. And all I'm going to do is color nice and slowly. I'm not pressing hard. I don't want to hurt my hand and get it all tired. But I'm just going to add all of this color. The lighter you do it, the better for the sky. And so I'm just coloring in one direction, horizontally, side to side. And I'm trying to fill up the white spaces, but again, like I said, I'm not going to press hard. And this is just regular blue, and I'm making a light value. And that's happening because I have a piece of cardboard underneath here. Okay. And so now I'm filling it all up. Okay. Great. Now that I've got my first layer of color for my sky, I can go in and I can do clouds if I want, or I could do the water. So, you know what? Let's go do the water. And I just dumped my blue crayon. Okay, got the same blue back. Let's say I only have this one blue, right? Here I had a light blue, here I had another light blue, I had a dark blue. Let's pretend I only have this one blue. I'm going to go right on my horizon line, and I'm going to press really, really, really hard so that I can start to create that atmospheric perspective using one color. So now I have a dark blue, and I'm going to maybe make my dark blue this much, this wide. And I'm going to color this blue, pressing as hard as I can so that it can look like there's a lot of water way, way out there in the ocean. And we are creating the illusion of space. We're creating the illusion of space by using color as well as placement. Where do we place the things that we see or that we're trying to show. So here we go. I'm pressing super hard. And if you have to take a break, I understand. You can pause it or stop the tape or just come back to it a different time because it does get tiring. But now that you've made that dark value, now I need you to do this for me. I need you to take this same blue without pressing hard, and we're just going to make this curved line, okay? And that's going to let us know where the sand is and where the water is going to start to look like it's coming up. So I'm just making a curved line, curved, kind of like a wiggly snake, right? And I can now continue with the blue down to here. And I want to leave this space white so that later we can add some brown and show sand. So right now I'm going to start down here actually. I'm going to make this the lightest value of blue. And I'm not pressing hard. Okay, boys and girls, that's how you create the lightest value. And if I color on top of this curved line, that's perfectly okay. I actually want to cover up the line. You might not want to cover up the line, and you don't have to, but it's okay to do that. So now I have all of this space here. I'm going to make it a light value, and I'm going to slide this over. A light value right here. All the way like this. So we have like 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, kind of. So I'm making all of this a light value. So now I have the darkest value that I can make and the lightest value that I can make with the same blue. And now I just want to make the transition, right, the change from dark to medium to light a little bit smoother. So I want to add a medium value in the middle of my ocean water. So like right here, I'm just going to press a little bit hard. Not a lot, just a little. There. That looks good, right? Okay. Yours is going to look fantastic. And by the way, I'm super proud of you. I know this is hard to do. It takes some time and a lot of coloring. So now we have dark, medium, light value of blue. If you want to add some other kind of blue, if you have another kind of blue and you wanted to add it, you could. I can show you on my other one. If I have this blue, I can come in here and I can add a little bit of this blue and carry it over to here because the water does look different. The light reflects on it. The sand underneath it affects it. So if you wanted to do that and add little bits of different blues or greens in here, you absolutely can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to use oil pastel or any other material, if you have paint, you can absolutely use whatever you like, okay? And let me see here. Now I'm gonna, well, let's finish this. Let's do the sand, okay? Really quickly. We're gonna work on this sand. I'm just checking the time. and we're good. So now I'm just going to fill in all of this white space with a brown, and this is just regular brown. And if I press hard, it's going to be a dark value. And if I don't press hard, like right now, then it's a light value, and it actually looks like beige or tan. And if you have a lot of crayons, then you can certainly mix them up and do layering of different tans and browns and whatever you have. And if you only have one brown, like me right here, then you can just use one and apply the pressure according to what you want. That means if I put a lot of pressure on this crayon, I'm gonna get a dark value. If I don't put a lot of pressure or like power on this crayon, then I'm gonna get my light value, right? So you decide. And now, here if you noticed, I made a dark value of brown. And why do you think that is? I don't know. We haven't been to the beach in so long, probably. But here where the water washes up on the sand, it's always a little bit darker because it's wet, right? This part of the sand doesn't get the water coming all the way over here. So I'm just gonna make it a little bit darker value right here where the sand looks like it meets the water. This is where we would be getting in here, right? Okay, and there you go. It's not a big deal, but it makes a big difference. It's not hard to do, but you can notice that it's there for a purpose. It's information that we as the artists are giving the viewers, right? And that helps to create that illusion of having a space, right? A 3D space. And now I'm gonna jump up into the sky, and I'm going to stick with my purple. So if you have a purple, or you don't have to make it purple, by the way. Remember, you don't have to do what I'm doing, right? You're the artist, it's your artwork. But I happen to like this color scheme, so I'm going to stick with it. Now, you could just add color like this and make up a cloud without drawing the cloud, or if you feel more comfortable drawing the outline of the cloud, you can do that also. Now, another way that artists create that illusion of a 3D space is with size. So the further away things are, the smaller they appear, right? So they're a smaller scale. The closer things are to us, they appear to be larger, right? They stay the same size, but distance makes us see them as smaller, right? If that makes sense. So these clouds, really far, far away where the sun is setting or rising, they are smaller. And all of the clouds out here around the edge are larger. So these clouds I made thin. These clouds here, I'll make them puffy. And the reason that they're purple is because the sun is setting or rising, but I think it's setting, so it's going down, and now the light is reflecting or shining underneath the clouds, and that's where we add the yellow underneath. But I'm going to draw my clouds first, and these are nice puffy clouds. And I'm just coloring very lightly. I don't have to press hard. I can press hard if I want to, but I don't have to. And then here I'll start to make some smaller ones, maybe medium, large, medium, teeny tiny, small, towards the center. And let's not forget the sun is going to be here or here or here or wherever you want to put it on the horizon line, okay? But I'm going to put a few more here and then some on this side, and then we're ready for yellow. I'll put some here, really small. Let's see what else. Just making some biomorphic shapes using curved lines. So I make a curved line like this, curved, curved, come back and connect. Now I have enclosed that space and I have created a shape that is biomorphic, that is found outdoors in nature, that has no name. It doesn't have a name. Maybe we need another one here, and you can continue to add them, as many or as few as you like. But the more clouds you add, the more reflection you will have. And that's the nice effect that you will get when you add the yellow. So I take the yellow, I make a curved line like a rainbow, because I'm only seeing a little piece of the sun. And then at the bottom of every cloud, I'm going to add yellow. Just underneath, at the very bottom, all the way across, from one side of the cloud, all along the bottom, and to the other side of that cloud. And like I said, if you wanted to add other things, you can. It's your piece of artwork. If you wanted to make a shovel here with a bucket, right? You could do that. If you wanted to add some birds in the sky flying, you could do that. If you wanted to put people in here, you could, but I would do that first. Maybe in pencil, before drawing all your water. So, also, the light is reflected under the clouds, and the light is also reflecting on top of the water, above the water. And so you can make a couple of yellow lines or white lines or orange or whatever color you choose, red, I don't know, and put these little lines in the water. You have to press hard because crayon on crayon is a little tricky when you press hard. The wax is like a little slippery. But that is our lesson for this week, and I just wanted you to know that if you want to do all of this, you may, and if you get tired and you want to stop it, you can stop it and continue at the next one. But I wanted you to see that the same artist tools that we use to do what we just did in crayon is the same set of tools that we use to make paintings, okay, as grown-ups or as kids, just as artists, no matter what ages we are. Okay, so I am super proud of you, boys and girls, and I'm really excited to see what you send me for this week, okay? So thanks a lot for joining us. Bye.